Okay, so we're doing this repair in the middle of November. It's actually reasonably mild, so in actual fact this would have gone off in about 3 to 4 hours. We've actually left it to the next day. If you remember, we put this masking tape on, put it over once we applied the filler resin. So let's peel it off and see what it looks like. And there we go. Because we've actually used this masking tape and folded it over, it's formed the shape really well here. So what we're going to do, that's pretty flush. As you can see, we previously recessed this edge here. We want to be able to bond the glass fibre onto good strong structure. It will bond onto this, then bond onto the new repair material and help keep the repair in place. This is the other side of that repair. It isn't quite so flush, so in actual fact we will do some work on this before we try glass fibre. Also, this edge is slightly projecting beyond the straight edge that we want to be able to have when we finish. So again, before we glass fibre, we will do some quick sanding work. So this is after we have done some more sanding on here to get rid of get this all nice and even, and we've actually now done the projection along here, so this is completely straight and flush, so we're ready to go. So I said we're going to actually glass fibre across right onto this area here. You can obviously you can't see it, but if I run my finger across, you can feel a real dip down from there. What we're going to use? Well, we're actually going to use what's called Twill glass fibre, readily available. It doesn't cost very much. This is only 140 gram. The great beauty of this is it's very easy to handle, gives the strength. The pattern doesn't come through quite so strongly as some other glass fibres, and it's also a lot better for going around any curves that you actually have to do as well. And what we will be able to do with this, because the pattern doesn't show through so well, we can make it much easier for gelling afterwards, so you don't have to use such thick filler. In fact, quite often we can use straight gel coats onto it. The other alternative is, which is commonly available again, is what's called Roving glass fibre. Very easy to cut. It's not chop strand mat. Do not use chop strand mat. Spend your time sourcing this sort of type of glass fibre. It gives a much more regular pattern, interwoven, gives it the extra strength. This is 300 grams. Because it's got much coarser pattern, that comes through quite often on when you're gelling or painting in this case. So, but that would actually do the job. If you can get this Twill, even better. So we're going to use polyester resin, as we earlier on in this video, to do this. Polyester resin, because literally works well with glass fibre. It's completely designed for the two things to work together. We've already dispensed it, added the catalyst and mixed it. So just coat the area, not do it too thickly, push the glass fibre in, and now just use the brush to work the resin actually into the glass fibre. Don't go back and forward, because you'll move the glass fibre around. Go up and down with the brush and just literally work it in. You don't have to use that much resin, as you can see from here. And the great thing about glass fibre is it tells you when it's worked. It goes from being very white to being completely translucent. It's actually absorbed the glass fibre, absorbed the resin. And as you can see, we don't worry at all about cutting the glass fibre exactly to the right shape. You deliberately want to actually overdo too much and project beyond, because the next time when we sand, we will get it totally flush and even. You don't have to worry about cutting it to the exact shape. And as you will see in a short while, when we do the next stage, we'll very easy and quickly sand off the excess glass fibre, and it will produce a totally flush edge, no problem at all. As you can see, that's the really quick process. That took us about 30 to 40 seconds to actually apply the repair material. It's the preparation that takes the time, and actually is what makes it likely whether the actual repair will work. So now we left it 3 or 4 hours, or in this case the following day, totally cured, gone off. You can put your hand on there, it's not tacky at all. So we're just going to use a simple little palm sander now with an 80 grit disc on to quickly flatten this off. Great. As you can see, that literally took probably about 50 seconds to a minute of sanding. The excess glass fibre just absolutely blasted straight off. Got that edge now flush and straight, no problem at all. That's why we actually deliberately go too far over with the glass fibre. So easy to sand, it's found its edge precisely now. That's actually great. You just run your hand across there, it's totally flush. Now what we're going to do is, there is tiny little pockets in that glass fibre. We could leave it as it is. We could probably paint spray it as it is. It would just take a bit longer to actually get. So we're just quickly going to mix up a bit of gel resin with some filler in and just skim over that. And then we can actually, once that's gone off, it can go totally flat. So quickly just show you how we do that. Okay, so we've got some pre-mixed, very light grey gel coat here. This is clear gel with pigment already mixed in the right proportions in it. That's already in there. I'm just quickly going to add in catalyst again. Same catalyst as we used with the polyester resin earlier on, which is a great help. We don't have to be using different catalysts, which would be a complete nuisance. Just literally spend 10 to 15 seconds mixing that gel in. Okay, am I going to add into this the filler powder? Again, it's colloidal silica, it's the same as we used earlier on. So I'm just going to add into there some powder. All I want to do is just slightly thicken this up. I'm not going to make it into a too thick a paste, but I've gone from it when it's completely runny to just falling off the mixing stick. And what this is going to do, because I've actually mixed some filler powder in just to make it a bit of a paste, it will fill the little bits, the little hollows, the little indentations in the glass fibre, and we're just going to quickly skim this on. At this point, it's not rocket science. We're not actually. I don't want to add it too thick because I'm going to use the sander to flatten it off afterwards. We just actually, if you just put too much on, you're just wasting time sanding it down. But I want to make sure there's enough on there to fill those little hollows and get this totally flush. Very easy to do. Just make sure there's enough on the edge so you've actually completely covered it, so there's no dark shading coming through. And just try and avoid having too many ridges, because you're just going to have to actually sand those all off, but you want to make sure there's enough on to fill. That proverbially is literally all there is to it. What will happen now is we will actually, once that's cured, we will again sand it off with a sander, but probably about a 180 grit, get it totally flat and flush, and then I'll quickly show you the last thing we would do. In actual fact, these laser foils are actually paint covered. They've actually got a paint spray on them. So in actual fact, once this has gone off and we've sanded it down, we will go to a good auto factors and just get white primer, okay, trade spray, and you can actually respray the whole thing once it's rubbed down. Blend it all in. Don't try and do too much at a time with this. You know, do thin coats, come back about every 15 minutes, and slowly build up the spray thicknesses. Once that's gone off, you can then rub it down with 800, 1200 grit wet and dry, and it will produce a really great finish back on your centerboard for you. So there you go. Those are all the stages we've actually done, but that will ensure that centerboard your won't fail again. It won't break off because it's actually now got the pins in holding the material to the body with glass fibre right across it. That's really super strong, but you're going to have to do that to actually succeed. But you can completely renovate your laser foils. It's probably about a 4-stage visit, as you can see, but it's worth doing. I hope you found that video of actually real use to you, and will give you the confidence and encourage you to have a go at doing this yourself at home. As you can see, it's not that many stages. Most of the time here is actually taken up with the downtime between each layer. Take the time to actually get yourself all the different right materials. Be prepared to actually take a tool to it or some really rough sandpaper to actually prepare the surfaces in the first place. But let's hope that will actually mean that you will have a go at doing it yourself at home during this terrible lockdown period. Yeah, which will mean that in actual fact, by the time the lockdown's finished and we are able to get back on the water, your foils will be back in really great conditions. Stay safe, and let's enjoy sailing when we get the opportunity.